2018 is almost over despite the fact that it seemed to last an eternity. What do you mean all this stuff didn't come out 5 years ago? But to cap off a year full of ups and downs, well, maybe, there'll probably be at least one more video in December, what better than to cover an anime that had a big anniversary this year? Gunbuster, or Aim for the Top, its alternate title referencing a sports anime you've probably never heard of, is a 6-episode OVA series that started in 1988. It was Studio Gainax's first big project, and as such is full of the self-referential, genre-changing energy of a crew that grew up watching anime and set out to make their own. You've probably heard of it in one of a few contexts: the absurd scale and power of its titular mech, the fan service that gave rise to the term Gainaxing, or you saw the sequel browsing through Crunchyroll and wondered why they didn't have a first one. We'll get to that. The premise is that, in a future where you can go to high school to learn how to pilot a giant robot, aliens called space monsters are roaming the galaxy trying to wipe out humanity. Noriko, the daughter of an admiral who disappeared in space on a mission, is trying to be as great as he was, but she sucks. Bad. So all her classmates bully her, but Coach Ota, who's scouting for an expedition trying to find and save Noriko's dad, picks her for the job along with Kazumi, the girl all her classmates fawn over. After Noriko learns a valuable lesson about talent being nothing next to hard work and guts, this is a theme, she stops sucking, gets to beat on her bullies for a change, and goes to space, where a lot of things go wrong. But through all the suffering and occasional nudity, Noriko becomes the pilot of the massive superweapon Gunbuster and sets into motion events that will save the Earth. It's a simple premise, but there's a lot packed into these 6 episodes, so it serves the story well that the important characters are kept to a minimum. A few are only around for an episode or two, mostly just there to show their effect on Noriko. The most important thing is her partnership with Kazumi, which starts with Noriko's fangirl crush getting brushed off. It develops rockily from there. Kazumi spends half the show not believing in Noriko and trying to get rid of her, right at the same time that Noriko stops believing in herself. Yet even when everyone and everything they love has left them behind, they learn they have each other and move into the future. That's not just a metaphor, but I'll back off from spoiler town. Another plus is that Gunbuster really knows how to set a mood. The music, the voice acting, and the hand-drawn animation, from parodies of shoujo standbys to heart-rending depictions of loss, and of course the triumphant action sequences you've probably seen parodied 1,000 times in other anime. When you're invested, you're invested. There's a reason this show is a classic. We might not care about the space monsters, but we do care about Noriko and the other people of Earth who are giving their all every day to fight against their encroaching threat, and the show's presentation ensures that we care because it shows that they've worked so hard to get there. As for the drawbacks, like a lot of these shows, the fan service gets awkward with some of the character ages. The romances suck, largely due to the economy of developing the side characters, and there's a canon teacher-studentship portrayed positively if you want to avoid that sort of thing, though they only get together after she's graduated. Availability is another big one. The original English release by Honeamis, a subsidiary of Bandai Visual, was expensive and hard to find, and right now it's no longer licensed by anyone. The compilation movie is, though, which is called Gunbuster vs. Diebuster the Gatai movie, and is a two-parter, half being this show condensed and the other half its sequel. Since Bandai's not licensing its own anime anymore, this one's held by Made in Japan, an obscure side company of Sentai. Fair warning, because it gets brought up a lot. Despite Noriko and Kazumi being beauty icons of the day, and Noriko even calling her One-sama to underline it, they don't get together. They end up with guys, even if that isn't a problem for long. So if that's a deal breaker for you, maybe try Diebuster, the sequel, which is also known as Gunbuster 2. Some elements of Gunbuster are important to the lore, but it stars a new cast of characters and they're a lot of fun. Overall, Gunbuster is a classic that'll help you appreciate everything modern anime's taken from it, or at least understand it. If you're not used to old school anime, though, you might need someone sitting by you explaining things, or to give a few other influential shows a watch first. But it's a great emotional ride, and given how much the world has changed since the 80s, it's unintentionally hilarious seeing how people thought the Soviet Union would still be around in the 2020s and didn't think cell phones would catch on. This is Secret Identity Studio, and I can't wait to welcome you back again.